That's President Trump last night in Pennsylvania touting a strong economy. The American housing market still seeing some strain. Young American buyers finding themselves being priced out of the market as the age of the average home buyer is rising, now at 40 years old, according to Realtor.com. The median home price in the western U.S. now at nearly $630,000. That's more than $500,000 for the Northeast as well. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage is now sitting at roughly 6.2%, as you can see there, 6.19%. Joining me now is U.S. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Scott Turner. Secretary, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And we're talking about housing ahead of the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates, where we are expecting a cut in rates later today. Would you expect a cut in short-term rates by the Fed to trickle to the mortgage market anytime soon?
Yes, ma'am. We are expecting that today, and we're hopeful that the Fed will cut rates and continue to cut them. You saw the president yesterday in Pennsylvania talking about the economy. Maria, you know, as when we came in, our economy was in terrible shape, but just in a very short period of time, under President Trump's leadership, our economy is now thriving. But I believe next year, because of the policies and the working family tax cuts, the largest tax cut for working families in American history, next year, families will see the real benefit of the policies that have been enacted. And at HUD, you know, we've helped over 1 million people so far this year in home ownership, either first-time home buyers or refinancing their home. Over 500,000 first-time home buyers at HUD through our FHA program have now gotten on a path to home ownership. And so as we see this shift coming and this paradigm coming, there's good news on the horizon. Much work yet to be done.
And yet people are still feeling strained about inflation and high prices, and particularly in the housing market. What would be your best recommendation in terms of policy to open up this market to people further?
Well, Maria, let's look at the root of it. You talk about during the Biden administration, the failed immigration policies, and that has really had a tremendous impact on our housing supply and housing affordability. When you have over 12 million people coming over our borders unchecked, unvetted, this is straining our housing market from a supply standpoint, from an affordability standpoint. HUD just put out a report and found that between 2021 and 2024, the foreign-born population in our country in just 3 short years is 6 million people, which is the most in that period of time in American history. And so we cannot forego the thought that because of illegal immigration, because of people coming to our country, prices have risen, supply has been squeezed, but we're working very hard at HUD, along with the president and other leaders in the administration, to bring down the cost and raise the supply when they're doing it through interagencies. But we need the Fed to cut rates. We need to continue to deport illegals that are taking houses from the American people. So we're very intentional and focused about it at HUD and across the administration.
Yeah.
You guys talk about, oh, illegal immigration didn't do anything. It's not affecting anything. It affects everything, especially in the economy. If you have less people, then the demand goes down, right? Because you have less people. So that's what the reason why rents are going up. You have so much demand. There's more demand than the supply. Simple supply and demand. This is why we need more kids and more people doing economics, because supply and demand. The illegal immigrants came here. There's so many of them, so they put more pressure on rental housing first, because they affected rentals first, right? So what happens is when there's so many people, as a landlord, I can raise the rents because I know somebody's going to buy it because people are so thirsty because there's so many, right? And then now we got a battle for starter homes. This is the reason why the Gen Zs and the generations coming up are getting pushed out. It's because they can't get the starter homes because you got these undocumented people getting these houses. Well, how are they getting these houses? Well, because they have kids. And then when they have their kids, they're able to get benefits. And then they do these jobs that are cash only. They stack their money up and then they can get a house. So that pushes out the Gen Z, because the Gen Z or these generations coming up can't get a job because the illegals are taking them for cheap. So now you got so many people trying to get these starter homes. So what does that do to the price? It raises the price. If a starter home was originally $300,000, now it could be $450,000, because now we have so many people. We have multiple offers. So what you have to do is get rid of the illegal immigrants, get rid of the refugees and asylum seekers, because then when you have less people looking into houses, now what happens to the price? It comes down. It's simple supply and demand. People say, oh, you guys are being racist. You guys are being mean to illegal immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers. No, we're not being mean. It's just the economy. It got so jacked up. It's because they put themselves in a position to live off the government, build up their savings, and buy houses and rent while they're pushing out Americans who have to do things the right way. It's simple supply and demand. This is why we need more people to learn about economics. These illegals, refugees, asylum seekers do not need to be here. They need to be out of here. You overstay your visa, you're not doing anything else, you're living off the government, you're not contributing to society, you got to go. So now, when we have less people, what happens to the houses? They go cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Look at it right now. The mortgage rate is higher. The mortgage rate is high. So they're saying we're going to have a housing crisis. And I believe that we're going to have a housing crash just a little bit. But the reason why is because the prices are too damn high. Because now the people that can buy them can't afford them. We can't afford it. The mortgage rate is too high. So what do you see now? Houses are starting to come down because the supply of buyers has decreased substantially. You don't have these people from different countries getting these big bags and living off the government. Now they can put a big down payment down and be able to get these houses. So now what you start to see around America is these housing prices are going down slowly but surely, right? Especially look in California. They said our starter home or median is 628,000. It used to be a lot lower than that. It's because we have a lot of illegal immigrants, a lot of illegal Latinos, a lot of illegal Indians, a lot of illegal all types coming into California, Asian. They coming in here. They put their money together and they buy these properties, but they buy them at a high clip. So if I'm selling a house, I don't care who buys my house. I care about the money. So if you were selling your house during these times during the Biden administration, you came up because the housing, because it was so many people when they house you, you always get multiple offers. So let's not stop. Let's stop. Thinking about the legal immigration, the ICE agents, and all that. Stop thinking about it with the emotion. Think about it with your mental. If these people are getting out of the country, they're here illegally, overstayed their visa, they did things the wrong way, criminals, get them out. Because then when you get them out, everything else will adjust. Did a lot of people profit off of illegal immigrants? For sure. Businesses profit off illegal immigrants. The housing market profited, but now everything's at a standstill because now you have Americans that are the ones that's supposed to buy, and they can't, not making enough money. So you're going to start seeing housing prices come down substantially because the removal of illegal immigrants. This is the power that we have about illegal immigrants. Now that they changed that rule for the SNAP benefits, they said already 1 million people have gotten off of SNAP benefits, whether that they worked or they are illegal refugees and asylum seekers. So you see what happens. So what does that do? That's less money going to these stores. That's less money coming from you going to them. So you have to understand that there's an economic play that comes with this, but you got to get your emotion out. It's all about Americans being able to spend and be able to stimulate the economy, but you got to get rid of the people that's messing it up. In the Biden era, they see, like you said, 6 million undocumented immigrants have came in during the Biden administration. 6 million. Just let that sink in. 6 million people. How do you think that affected the economy? It affected it greatly.
And that is the reason that you recently launched this new hotline for Americans to report any potential illegal migrant or criminal living in public housing, right? Your department finding foreign-born residents account for 60% of the growth in rental demand, Secretary?
Oh, yes, ma'am. You just showed that article. I'm glad you did in New York and also in California. There's no coincidence that when you have unfettered access for illegals to come into your city, to come into your state, that you're going to have these problems with illegal immigration. 100% of the cause of rental growth in New York and California is due to illegal aliens coming into our country. But this hotline that you alluded to that we launched at HUD is through our Office of Inspector General. Maria, we care about the people that live in HUD-funded housing, in particular in our public housing authorities. Those families need to feel safe in their homes, safe in the properties that they're renting. And so we understand that it's hard to report things, but we have a vehicle now with our HUD crime hotline for people to report any sex trafficking, drug trafficking, illegal aliens, illicit things going on, nefarious activity. And I want people to understand this is confidential. You can do it without fear because we want to know what's going on in public housing authorities so we can root out crime, root out illegals, and serve the American people and the American people only.
And you also recently rolled back more Biden-era guidance that you said was favoring Afghan refugees. Tell me about this. How are immigrants impacting the housing market from Afghanistan?
First off, I love this rule when he's talking about the hotline. Snitching, man. It's time to start snitching. You know what? A lot of y'all know where these illegal people at. Maybe you're a naturalized citizen, you're doing it the right way, but you know where the illegals is at. Y'all need to start snitching. I believe in snitching if it helps out the America. They can't get them all, but you can tell them where to go. Don't be surprised if they're going to start paying people a lot of money to turn in illegal immigrants. All this money they're getting from tariffs, they're going to put some in your pocket by saying, you let us know if you know some illegal immigrants, a group of them will give you 20K, 50K. They already got people snitching on people when you parking in the wrong area so they can give you a ticket or, make money off of you. You already got people snitching on, crimes and stuff. Start snitching on illegal immigrants. Make that a job. Y'all want a job? Y'all want to work for the government on the low? There you go. Be a snitch. Tell them where they at. Tell them where they at. I love the hotline. Call them up. You here illegally? Yeah, let's go on and get them up out of here. ASAP.
Yes, ma'am. And, I'm glad you brought that up. And Maria, I know I'm not supposed to do this on TV, but I want to read this so the American people, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, understand what's going on during the Biden administration. Our HUD, Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity Office, we have taken down guidance that during the Biden administration encouraged landlords and property owners to forego regularly required credit checks for refugees so they didn't have to do credit checks. It encouraged landlords and public housing authorities to exempt Afghan refugees from occupancy limits so they can have as many people as they wanted living in HUD-funded housing. Also advised landlords and property owners to evade the fair housing laws, which we're supposed to uphold, evade the fair housing laws by publishing marketing materials in languages other than English so that they can market to Afghan refugees.
Wow.
That was what's going on during the Biden administration, but we have since withdrawn that and torn that guidance down.
There's no way that illegal immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers should have more benefits than Americans. There's no way that you should be marketing in different languages other than English. There's no way that you make it easy for these people to live in your building and then they have 1,000 people living in one unit and you making money from the government, but the government's telling you what to do. When we start uncovering this Biden stuff, bro, all for votes. All because they wanted them people to vote for either Biden or Kamala. Because they knew that they were crooks. They were buying votes. They was using your money to get these people in and to pay for these people to live here. And then they would get jobs where they get cash and still be on the benefits that American people are paying for. Like y'all get mad at these ICE agents, man. We need more. They all got to get up out of here. 2026 is going to be a great year in all aspects. Housing is going to come down. I think there will be a small housing crash because the prices are going to be coming down drastically. And then what we're going to be having is more jobs, more things open up for Americans, more money going to Americans, less money being spent on fraud and scams, and things will actually be affordable. Prices are already coming down at the grocery store. Oh, the price is going down. I went to the store and they got chips and stuff. Buy 2, get 4 free. Everything's coming down. But it's just amazing that this guy's done all of this within a year. So shout out President Trump. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell so you can get all the new videos. We'll keep this thing real, keep it going. And the Daily Show is coming soon. Appreciate you guys.